And welcome back, everybody, to BSG Online 4. We're gonna head right into it with the next one. We have the the BPG13 running Colin McRae Rally 2005 Championship percent. Let's go.
Indeed, let's go. Hello everybody, I'm the BPG13, also known as Viper to my regular viewers, and I mainly run racing games, but enough about that. This is the game you come to see today, Colin McRae Rally 2005. This is the championship set category. It's basically just 6 rounds of the championship. It's got its own individual speed run away from the rest of the game. We're only going to be doing 4 of those rallies because you can actually win with the amount of points that we need. So yeah, but I won't mess around or waste any time. We'll jump straight into it. Like I said, it's about an hour and a bit this run, so we'll see how it goes. Should go fine. Anyway, on that note, I'll give you a countdown from 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so first things first. You're immediately going to get cast into the world of Colin McRae Rally 2005. Now, I'm going to just straight up say this. This was the last game in the Colin McRae Rally franchise. Now, there was 5 games altogether in the original Colin McRae Rally franchise. Now, the reason I say original is because there's a series that's currently known as the Dirt series, and that carries this series on, just under a different name. Now, 2005 as a whole was the last one in the original set, and because it was the last one, it had a couple of extra things that weren't in the previous 4. So obviously we got a championship mode, which was in the previous ones anyway, but what we actually got for the first time ever was an actual career mode. Now, I'll explain a little bit about that in a second, but first of all, what exactly is the category that we're doing here today? Well, we're doing championship. As I said, 6 rounds of a championship, and they are split up into Finland, which is the first rally, Greece, Germany, UK, Spain, and Sweden to finish us off. Now, out of those 6 rallies, we're going to be doing 4 of them. Finland is the first one. It's a bit fast, it's a bit frantic at times. Greece we're actually going to be skipping. We'll go straight to Germany. Then we're going to be skipping the UK, doing Spain, and then going to Sweden where we'll finish off the run. Nice and easy, eh? So, each rally in this particular game mode has 6 stages. However, Germany and Sweden, which are the 3rd and final rallies of the championship, have 7 stages. That 7th stage is a super special stage. Now, super special stages are a head-to-head against another AI, and thanks to a trick that, well, I'll say thanks to a trick, thanks to somebody named Zorfkov, who's from the Netherlands, he found out that in Colin McRae Rally 2, you could actually get yourself disqualified, and as a consequence, it would mean that you'd save minutes. Well, you probably wouldn't believe me if I told you, but that same trick, the getting yourself disqualified, worked for every game after Colin McRae Rally 2. So in Colin McRae Rally 3, 04 and 2005, you can also do the same thing there. It's pretty phenomenal. It's very, very good. Also, that is the first stage done. Now, I will just say real quick is that we will be skipping through a lot of things on this. There is in the 6 stages that you do, there's 3 service areas. So every 2 stages you have a service area. Now, the service area is to repair your car, to change suspension, to change tyre choice, and brake balance, etc. There's a lot of different things that you can change on your car. Now, first things first with this is that with the service area, we'll be changing tyres primarily. Nothing else, just tyres. Now you're probably wondering, why are you going to be changing tyres and not a lot else? Well, this is all down to the fact that in Colin McRae Rally 2005, or should I say just in Colin McRae Rally 2005, I don't really think it's in any other. But in this game in particular, there's 3 different batches of stages, shall we say. So, how I was saying about the 3 service areas, each service area to me is like a different part of the stages that we've got. So the first 2 stages are going to be dry, so we don't need to change any any tyres or anything like that. However, stages 3 and 4 on the car will be wet, so we're going to need to change to wet tyres. As for the last 2 stages, they're going to be dry again, so we're going to be making sure that we change to wet tyres after this and then go back to the dries on after stage 4 is done. Now, it should be noted that we are going to be cutting a few minor corners here and there. The main reason for that is because 2 things. So, unlike the previous McRae rallies that I may have shown off, for various marathons, ESA, BSG and UKSG, that this game has a lot of shortcuts that you can take. However, it's not got loads. Not as many as McRae Rally 2 has got. So McRae Rally 2 has quite a few shortcuts. In this one, it doesn't have nearly as many. However, that doesn't mean that we're not going to use any corner cuts whatsoever. Because we are. Of course we are. It's McRae Rally, of course. So in 2005, or I should say in McRae Rally 2005, most of the cars that was featured in this game were all taken from 2003, 2004. And there's obviously classic vehicles in here, so there's quite a few different car classes. You have the 4-wheel drive, which consists of your typical cars like the Ford Focus, which is what we're using here, the Subaru Impreza WRX, the Mitsubishi Lancer, I'm trying to think what the cars there is in that lot. The Audi A3, I think it is. There's a couple others. I'm going to change, there we go, wet gravel. Good stuff. So, as we're going to go through this, it's, I say that we're going to, like I said, there'll be a few weather effects and stuff that we're going to see. So first chance you'll see of rain, so here you go. But yeah, that's what I was saying before about the car selection. So you have the 4-wheel drive, like I said, you have your typical Subaru Impreza, your Mitsubishi Lancer, there's a VW Golf R32 kit car in here, Ford Focus, and so on. Quite a mix of cars. There's not just M4. I think it's about 8 or something in this. Oh, Peugeot 206 another. You have 2-wheel drive, so like the VW Polo, the MG ZR. I believe the Ford Puma's in here. That's in here as well. What else? The Citroen Saxo, that's another one. So you have a few cars in that department. You've got a classic set, which involves like the MG Sebring, the Alfa Romeo GTV6, things like that. The Mini Cooper S as well, from the 1960s in here. You have the Group B, which were the monsters of the 1980s, such as the Audi Quattro, such as the Audi Quattro, the Peugeot 205 T16, MG Metro 6R4, and various others. There was also a few other, in particular, interesting car choices that you could drive in this game as well, such as the 4x4 selection, which was like the Land Rover Discovery, the Nissan pickup. I'm trying to think what other there was. There was quite, like I said, there was quite a selection of vehicles in here, classic and modern. I'll say modern, it was 2004, so modern as 2004 could get. But there isn't anything like concept cars or anything like that. But yeah, I think there was about 30, 40-ish cars, something like that, altogether in this game, which was quite a good amount of cars. I think McRae Rally 04 had about 30 odd, so it was quite nice. Also, for the sake of this stage, I'm actually going to take this easy, because going down this hill, the car is very uncontrollable at high speed, so I'm actually going to take it easy for that. But yeah, for the most part, most of these cars are relatively straightforward to drive. They're not too difficult to drive, you can get used to them pretty easy. But yeah, nothing to really worry about. As you can see, the rain is heavied now, it's gotten a lot heavier. Now, it should be worth noting something here, which is there is obviously some weather effects on show, but something you probably didn't know is that there's actually a cockpit view. Now, cockpit views were a thing in the original Colin McRae Rally games, and they got better as time went on. Obviously, they look really good now in the modern games because we have the technology to make them look as amazing and as realistic as we can. But for a 2005 game, this is what you got. So you got all the water particles on the window as it hit the window, windscreen wipers. You even got the noise of the car, which was pretty good. So I need to be careful on this one in particular. So on this stage, there's actually something that kind of bothers me, which is those bridges that we cross. And the bridges are a fairly big pain, unfortunately. So I am going to just take it easy for the sake of things for that. But yeah, the career mode, which was what I was coming on to. So, like I said, up until this point, until before Colin McRae Rally 2005, Championship was the main game mode of Colin McRae Rally. And none of the games had a career mode. The Championship mode that was in Colin McRae Rally 03 was supposed to be like a career mode because it had 3 seasons with different rallies for each season, and as Colin McRae yourself, you had to win the 3 championships, and they got harder in difficulty as they went. Now, in 2005, they were like, right, we'll give you a typical championship mode, which is obviously the category I'm speedrunning here today. However, we'll give you a career mode. So in the career mode, you don't just drive one particular car, you don't just drive, you don't just drive one car or like 2 different sets of cars. You drive near enough most of the vehicles in the game. Now, you're able to pick and choose as you go through the game. But there's various different race types. So, for example, there's Challenge, which is 4 stages from random rallies. There is a Cup, which I believe is 8 stages, again, all random rallies. A Shield, which is 6 stages, all random rallies. There's what we call a Gold Cup, which is usually between 16 and 18 stages, split over 4 rallies. I'm just going to repair my wheels, go back to the fine gravel. There we go. And there's a few others as well. But like I said, as you go through the career mode, you'll encounter several different race types and things like that. With like a massive championship being near the end of the game. And obviously, like I said, you don't just do like all the gold cups in the fastest cars. Sometimes you might need to drive the, I don't know, the Alpha GTV6 or the classic cars or the Supreme cars, which are like another set of cars. So there's all sorts of different car classes, and you drive a variety of them in the career mode, which is quite cool. Rather than it be a case of, oh, you've only got to drive one car, it's like, no, you can drive several different cars. You definitely get quite a bit of hours, quite a few hours worth of racing content. I think it wasn't too bad. I quite enjoyed the career mode myself. Roughly, I'd say it's about 10 or 15 hours for the career mode stuff. As in, casually playing it through, it'll probably take more like 20, to be honest. Speedrun wise, it'll probably take about 10 hours, give or take. It all depends, really. But yeah, the career mode is just like a nice way of obviously getting into the game and racing with several vehicles. And the one thing that it does in the career mode, now in championship mode we'll actually be skipping this, but between rallies, when you win a rally or when you finish a rally, you unlock a testing phase. So this testing phase offers you a few things. So when I beat this rally, which probably another stage after this one, but when I beat the rally, the game is actually going to ask me, is going to say to me, right, we've seen that you beat that rally, we've seen that you beat that rally, what do you want us to do? Do you want to upgrade your brakes, do you want to upgrade your engine and your transmission and so on? And then what happens is if you say, yeah, I want this, is it'll put you into like a mini game sort of thing. And say like for the engine and the gearbox, you've got to hold the revs at a certain length. You have to hold it at a certain not a certain length, like a certain rev limit on the car. And if you hold it at that certain rev limit, it works out quite well. It's really good. But yeah, you can upgrade your engine and things like that, and it's a pretty cool way of getting your car to go faster, and it definitely becomes more useful as you go through the game. So obviously, the more you get through the career mode, the more you're going to need to upgrade your car, but it should be worth noting that you have to sometimes beat like the longest race to unlock the upgrades for the next car. So for example, say I don't know, say one of the cups is based on the 4-wheel drive, and you want to upgrade your brakes. You'll have to beat like the challenge, or you might have to beat the challenge or a gold cup in a higher up event to unlock the brake testing for your car. So your cars aren't all upgraded in the same way. For example, some cars can only have like the brakes upgraded, and they're not eligible for engine upgrades or anything like that. And some are just only eligible for engines and the exhaust and nothing else. So you kind of have to like pick and choose as you go through it, but obviously if you're a completionist like I was when I first played the career mode through, then you just upgrade everything, and that way it works out quite well in the long run. Also, Finland is full of jumps, and you may notice as well that this car is going to get battered a lot. So there's actually going to be not a lot left of this car. Which brings me on to the damage model for this game actually. That's a good point to kind of bring up. So you may notice by now that we have a diagram in the bottom left corner. That diagram shows basically the structure of the car, so the engine block, the side panels, everything. It's just on like a basic layout. And the more damage you take on the car, the redder it goes. If it goes black, it means that it's completely knackered. The tyres will also start to change colour as well, so you may notice right now that the tyres are white. And they're slowly, you can't really tell, but they're slowly going yellow. If they start to go more than yellow, so yellow is basically meaning they're getting worn out, then they'll start to turn orange, red, and then eventually when you've took the wheels off, which you can completely smash the car to pieces, they turn black. So yeah. Also, that is Finland done and dusted. Nice, good stuff. So we get 10 points for winning. It says, do you want to skip this? We're going to click yes. And this is the first of 2 rally skips we're going to do. So you're going to go into the first rally like that. Then retire from it like that. Piece of cake. And again, we're going to skip through all of this, go into Germany, and we're going to make sure that our car setup is right. I'll put the wet tarmac tyres on for the sake of things here. So this is, now we're in Germany, so we're already halfway through the championship. Now, the reason why we skip Greece and we skip the UK. So we skip Greece and the UK because, believe it or not, it's actually quicker to do this rally and Sweden. So the way that this was worked out was a case of I was playing around with this game probably about 2 months ago, and I wanted to improve my time that I had on the championship. And what I ended up doing was I went back and I was like, you know what? Let's see what, because normally we'd skip Germany and we skip Sweden and nothing else in between. So it was like, well, I knew that I had to beat Finland regardless, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. But then I took the times from Greece and from the other rallies, and I was like, hang on a minute. So Greece is about 23 minutes long. I don't know, I can't actually remember how long it was. It was like a good 20 odd minutes long. I was like, hang on a minute, Germany is 22 minutes, but we've then got this DNF thing that we can do on the super special stage for this. So I was like, hang on a minute, that'll be a lot faster then, because It won't be that much faster, but the stages will feel faster and everything. Anyway, so I did some testing with like the cars and everything, and well, not with the cars, but with the rallies in particular. And I tried out 2 different routes. One was to do Finland, skip Greece, skip Germany, do the UK, Spain and Sweden. Because you'll win the championship, you see, if you have 4 rally wins. Which is a nice thing to know, isn't it? Just need to make sure that I don't get respawned. No, I'm fine. Uh-oh. I've got tarmac tyres on. This will be interesting. But yeah, like I said, so I tried that and was like, hang on a minute, that's actually not that fast. So I tried Greece in the UK and found it's about a minute faster. So the route I'm using now, it's a new route that we've had for like the last 2 months, but beforehand we were using Germany and Sweden. And because it's that much faster, I mean, like with really good driving, I mean, the record currently for this category is set at 104.51 right now. It can come down by about a minute or so with better driving, or a good half a minute or so with better driving. But yeah, it saved minutes, and I was kind of blown away by the fact it saved so much time. There we go. Nice. Stage 1 done and dusted. I think Germany is... If I'm not mistaken, Germany has a lot of wet stages, so we will need to repair the tyres and stick with wet tyres for the most part. But yeah, Germany is relatively straightforward. It's a lot of tarmac, a bit of gravel, a bit of mud every now and again, but that's fine. The UK is actually a bit of a pain at times, so obviously for the sake of things we won't be doing anything to do with the UK. So we'll be skipping that. Spain is tarmac, completely tarmac, so that's something that I also like. So Germany and Spain are full of tarmac. Sweden's all snow stages. The UK is usually like mud, gravel, tarmac. It's a kind of a mix. It's actually kind of a blessing that we're skipping the UK, to be honest. It's funny that, considering that I come from the UK myself, and I'm skipping my own country. Oh dear. It's like, traitor! It's like, no I'm not. But I will say for the most part that, considering the age of this game, it still looks quite good for a PC port. I think I kind of explained all there is to mention. I mean, there is, obviously, you got your typical split screen for this, you have a time trial mode and things like that. I do believe it's even possible to get multiplayer working on this game still, so there you go. Like many games that have aged quite a bit and don't have online multiplayer as much, you can still play online multiplayer on this. I think it's possible to do via like Hamachi and stuff like that. But it is actually possible to do multiplayer. I've done a multiplayer match with a friend of mine, which was pretty cool. And it's not only this game as well. Colin McRae Rally 2, which came out 21 years ago. That also is playable multiplayer. Not just split screen, but with online multiplayer, which is, like I said, is just awesome. Kind of need to be careful there. So because I've got tarmac tyres on, it means that any mud trails or anything like that for a lot of the time will be very tricky. If I'm not on tarmac, then I'm going to be sliding about on the mud. You can actually use them ditches on the inside of the corners as well, as a nice like slowdown buffer, which is pretty good. So that is the second stage done. As I just say, if we've got any donations or anything what I mentioned about charity, then go right ahead.
Alright, fair enough. First of all, let's just mention the big, wonderful thing known as Prime Gaming. You see, if you have that, if you have Amazon Prime and all that, you can consider using your free Prime Gaming subscription right here on the ESA channel, and you'll get access to ESA emotes as well as several BSG emotes, and you will support both
Into long
the
6
events.
And K 5 right over crest and
So
turn
that's pretty
4
cool.
left. 50 turn 3 right. long
And
5
you
left
know what?
opens.
While we were
And
talking,
turn
I
6
heard
right tightens to long
the
3 and
UK
turn
mentioned
2
several
left.
times as well earlier. Let's just mention that
50
if
long
you want to
5 right over
participate in
crest.
a similar event to
2 long
BSG, we
5 left
recommend
split.
checking out
And turn 5 right
UKSG.
and narrow gate
UKSG
gravel.
is an event normally held in
Long 5
Glasgow,
right.
running 4 times a year,
very long 6
supporting
left.
Crisis. Currently also online
Into 4 right
due
into
to
K 4 left
current world
tightens and
events.
narrows. And long 4 right over crest.
Believe their schedule is today as well. I think it's about an hour from
6
now.
left tightens to
Yeah,
3.
the schedule's going to be announced soon.
Into long 6 left
Exciting
tightens,
stuff.
30.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
6 left into
So,
4
Colin
left
McRae
over
Rally
left.
2005, it actually
4
came
right
out.
30,
This is
turn
probably going to
4
mess with a lot of
left
people's
split.
minds. So, did Colin McRae Rally 2005 come out in 2005? The answer is a no. Why they decided on this, I do not know. But the funny thing is, Colin McRae Rally 04 came out in 2003. I know it's messed my head up as well. It's just a weird thing to mention. But then again, I think it's the same for the FIFA games, if I'm not mistaken. They're kind of the same thing. They released the year, the stuff for the year after, the year before.
70, turn 6 left.
So like they put the year, so like they'll probably release FIFA 22 this year, even though we're in 2021. It's yeah, games used to like doing that. They still, well, obviously FIFA still doesn't mind doing it.
Yeah, on occasion I still see developers do that sort of stuff.
So, funnily enough, Codemasters, who made the original Colin McRae Rally and have made the Dirt series, they've actually recently been acquired by Electronic Arts. Now, whichever way you look at it, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. It's a debate which has gone across the whole of the internet since it happened a few weeks back. Me personally, I don't exactly see it as a good thing, considering EA is kind of greedy, but then again, that's my thoughts on them. But yeah, they've actually taken over Codemasters and their assets, including studios that they bought. I think it was Slightly Mad Studios was bought out by Codemasters and they're now under EA, so yeah, an interesting time to had for the racing game scene the next couple of years. That's definitely something to note. So I believe in total, like I said before, I believe there's about 30 or 40 vehicles, it may be more, and there is, I think it's 8 rallies or 9 rallies on this game, and they have about 8 stages apiece. With 4 of them having super special stages. So you're talking about, ooh, let's see, what is it, 8 stages per rally, 9 rallies, 32, about 75, 76 stages, around about there. So there's a good variety of stages, all mixed with various surfaces and things like that you can drive on. Now, it should be worth noting actually, and I haven't even mentioned this yet, so the car choice. The car choice, believe it or not, is a slight key in this run. It's not got a big advantage as it has in other Colin McRae Rally games, I believe, but it's still a key one for this category. So, in the championship mode, you get a pick between the Mitsubishi Lancer, the Subaru Impreza WRX, the Ford Focus, as you can see, the Citroen Zara, the Peugeot 206, and I think it's the Audi A3 as well. So I think it's 6 cars altogether that you can pick between. Now, upon further testing, I actually used to drive the Mitsubishi Lancer when I used to do this run. However, things changed slightly when we found out that the Ford Focus is actually slightly quicker. Its power to weight ratio, I think, is what makes it up over the Mitsubishi Lancer. But when we were testing some of the cars a few years back, I didn't really bother testing the focus, because I thought the focus was going to be the worst, since it was the worst in one of the other Colin McRae Rally games, Colin McRae Rally 2, and it wasn't so great in the original Colin McRae Rally either. But that was the Ford Escort for that one. So I never really thought to try it. Anyway, we tried it, and lo and behold, its handling is pretty good. It sticks to the road pretty damn well. And yeah, because of that, we ended up using that. It was a pretty good time to use it. I just need to just check. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Oh, good.
5,
nice.
4,
so
3,
Germany's wet all the way through. I completely
1,
forgot about this.
go.
I just have to check the. I just have to check. What's it called? Just check the weather forecast just to make sure it was wet. If it's not wet, you just change back to dry tyres. So there's not really much in terms of strategy or anything like that for this game. For the most part, it's literally a race from A to B. And for those that don't really know much about rallying to begin with, allow me to just kind of quickly explain. So, aside from going through all these lovely hay bales that I can't see, thank you. So, rallying is usually point A to point B over several kilometres. It runs, I think it's something, it can run between anywhere between a couple of kilometres to several kilometres. So, say like 2.5 kilometres up to 20, 30 or even more kilometres for some stages. Some are even more than 50 kilometres a stage, depending on the rally. Now, I don't really keep up with modern rallying, so to speak, but the prospect about it has been the same, which is you have to do a bunch of stages, and the fastest time is the winner, and they get points for winning and so on. I think it's like top 10 get points or something like that. And whoever has the most points at the end of the year is world champion, with the most successful world champion being Sebastian Loeb with 9 titles. And what's quite significant about 9 titles, other than it being 9 titles, which is the most crowns ever, I think by anybody in motorsport, for one particular category, is the fact that these 9 titles were achieved back to back. So for 9 straight years, Sebastian Loeb won the Rally Championship crown, which is a staggering feat in amongst itself. Just to kind of put it in perspective against how many titles some of the other greats of sports have won. Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton are tied on 7 titles apiece in Formula 1 right now. Rossi, I think Valentino Rossi in the MotoGP scene is on, I think it's 7 titles or 6, I'm not sure. Marquez is getting close to 8 titles on that one, or has 8 titles, I'm not sure, but MotoGP is usually measured in slightly different, because they have like 250cc, 150cc and so on. Whereas with like Rally, F1 and a few other motorsports, they're all measured via the same way. They're all measured in one way.
4, 3, 2,
so this is usually our final stage, our 6th and final stage of Germany. But you may remember that I mentioned that it's a super special stage, and that will be coming up after this one. Now, the trick, which by the way is quite easy to pull off, even for a rookie, it's very easy. Again, it comes down to driving, nothing else. Is when you're doing the super special stage, you want to get yourself disqualified. So what that means is you want to basically head towards the car coming towards you, whatever car's in the opposite lane. So if, say for example, we're going against, I don't know, Laniken or something, who's one of the drivers. It's just made up by co-masters for this one. And say we're going up against him in his Subaru, we're going to have to hit the Subaru to make sure, yeah, we're going to have to hit the Subaru to make sure that we win. So we'll get ourselves disqualified, but because we've built up that big of a lead over the course of the 6 days that we've done, it means that we'll win the championship nice and easy, which is pretty cool. Also, I could not slow the car down then. That was a bad idea. Nice. So you can actually slow the car down in a couple of ways. Obviously brake, I'll use my handbrake a couple of times to like I'll jam the handbrake on at times just to make sure the car slows down properly. But yeah, for those that don't know, I do play with manual gears as well. You can play with semi-automatic gears, so there's automatic, manual and semi-automatic. Automatic is usually the slowest, but if for a beginner that's probably what I'd go for, unless you're used to manual gears, in which case go for manual gears. Semi-auto is a weird compromise. It's like the AI changes the gears up and down for you, meaning you don't have to change any gears up and down. However, if you want to change a gear down yourself, you're actually allowed to do that, which is quite cool. So rather than you slow the car down, the AI does it for you. You know, the computer does it for you. And again, I think that's quite cool. So we're going to go against the Lancer. So here's the super special stage. We're going to reverse. Now in Germany, here's the weird thing. In the German one, you're allowed to do this and the game will not reset you. In Sweden, at the very end of this run, we won't be able to do this because the game doesn't let us. So we're going to have to get the car turned around as much as possible and hope that he hits us.
104 right, into 6 left.
There we go. Whoops. Still won. There we go. So we're off to the UK next, but we're not actually off to the UK. No. We're not actually going to do the UK. We're actually going to do Spain. We're going to go from miserable England over to sunny Spain. So again, we're going to skip through all of this, all the parts testing, go straight to Spain, like we do, and we're going to jump straight into Spain, just like that. But if we got any donations or any information about charity, go right ahead.
I can absolutely read out something about the charity. Let's say that we are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and support everyone who is dealing with mental health issues themselves or within their family. All of the donations will be going to Mind. It's an absolutely fantastic charity, and I feel like we're doing quite well, but we could be doing better. Everyone, keep your donations coming on in.
50, split,
Indeed, indeed.
right, and long 6 left, 100.
So we're in nice sunny Spain, and there's a lot of tarmac about, so I'm quite happy about that, because tarmac, believe it or not, I'm quite a fan of the tarmac stages in the rally games. Colin McRae rally games, should I say. But it also goes to a few other rally games I've played. Tarmac always seems to bode well with me for some reason. I do not know why. There is actually something I need to mention. So, in Spain, and this isn't just Spain, it's in the UK as well, but we'll mention Spain first since we're in it and we're driving it, is that in the previous Colin McRae Rally games, some of them stages and the stage routes and everything have actually been put into this game. They've been transferred over to this game. Now, this is actually nothing new at this point, because Colin McRae Rally 3 and 04 actually had assets from Colin McRae Rally 2 carried over. Now, when I say assets, I don't mean like the cars were carried over or anything like that. Some of the stages were carried over, and because they were carried over, it meant, well, if you knew what you were doing the first time round, you know what you're doing on the second time round, if you get what I mean. This might be familiar to a lot of people, where some games reuse assets from other games and stuff like that. So, for example, in this game, I don't know which of the stages it is, it's one of the stages that we're going to be doing, but basically, one of the stages in this game was in Colin McRae Rally 2, and it's gone through Colin McRae Rally 3, 04, and it's in this one. But it's in France in Colin McRae Rally 2, but in this game, it's in Spain. So all they've done is basically like a rehash, reskin. It's like, oh yeah, we'll add a little bit on the end as well, so it'll make it seem like a brand new stage. But really, it's not a brand new stage, it's actually just the same stage that you've seen 3 times over in previous games, just with a slight redesign. But yeah, the more you know. the UK has a stage which is reversed, but it's the same stage backwards from, again, Colin McRae Rally 2, so they do share a few assets and things like that. But it was just something that, as I was playing these games like a couple of years ago, I realised that something about the routes seemed very familiar. Not all routes like that, though. Some of the routes are brand new. Some were carried over from Colin McRae Rally 3 and 04. But it's interesting to see routes that were carried over from 2000 and from the 2000 game, Colin McRae Rally 2. So yeah, the more you know, I guess. Should be worth noting that there is modding available for this game. There's plenty of skins that can be modified into this game, but unfortunately they don't. It does mean that your runs become invalid if you have a modification to them. But yeah, there's actually a website called Rally Gamer, I believe, and he's got plenty of like liveries and things like that for a lot of racing games, and believe it or not, he's got quite a few for Colin McRae Rally 2005. So if you're ever interested and you've got your hands on this game on the PC, you can modify some classic skins for some old cars straight into your game and race to your heart's content, which is quite nice.
Into 3 right, 70. K 5 left. And long 3 right, opens over finish.
Right near the end of the stage. I believe the next, I don't know if it's the next 4 stages or the next 2, but I think it's just the next 2 stages actually. So these next 2 stages are going to be wet, so I'm going to repair my car. And wet tarmac was the one I wanted. Yeah, that was good. That was exactly what I wanted.
5, 4, 3.
So the rain is back yet again. Like I said, this is always a definite. Like in Greece, for example, if you do the Greece rally, it's dry for the first 2 stages and wet for the last 4. Germany, it's wet all the way through, although there's a dry stage in Germany, as you saw before. The UK has a mixture, although it's mainly wet. There's not really too many dry stages, but then again, that shouldn't surprise anybody, considering the UK does have a lot of rain during the year. We've already had quite a bit of rain this year, and there actually has been a bit of flooding, unfortunately, but we have quite a bit of bad weather at times. But luckily us Brits get used to it, it's fine. As for Sweden, Sweden is a bit of a weird one. So Sweden has blizzards and snowstorms and stuff like that. And I actually do think that Sweden's the nicest looking rally in this game, weirdly enough. So Finland's full of trees and stuff like that, but for some weird reason, like the snow and the atmosphere, even when it snows in Sweden, it still feels very realistic. I mean, okay, it doesn't feel as real as like Dirt Rally 2.0 these days or anything like that, but to me it does feel a bit more realistic, especially for a 2004 game compared to this. Like, I know Spain gets wet weather and stuff like that, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like... I don't feel like the weather effects does it justice for Spain. It's very weird. There is actually one thing to note, is that you'll notice that we're gonna... I'll just give you a heads up. So before, like, when we finish this stage, we're actually going to be driving into the crowd. Now, this might sound like a really bad idea, but what it does is, just like you get respawned if you drive outside of the track's limits, you'll get respawned back on the track. When you finish a stage, you need to stop the car as fast as possible, and by us driving into the crowd, what that's going to allow us to do is that is going to allow us to simply just stop the car instantly. It will respawn you right back on the track, and you'll be respawned instantly. So I'm going to quickly walk around here like that. And I'm going to just drive into there. There you go. Done. Easy. Like I said, really, really easy.
5, 4,
it's like an insta-stop sort of thing, which is pretty cool.
6 right, 70, long 5 left. And 6 right, into 5 left, keep in and turn.
It's always a good
right.
sign.
6 left over crest, 30, long 5 right, tightens, and 3 left.
Again, more wet weather. Spain.
Long 6 right, into turn 2 left. And 6 right, 50.
So, believe it or
Crest
not,
and long 3 left, tightens.
with each of the Colin McRae rally games, so in the first Colin McRae rally game that released in 1998, Colin McRae and Nicky Rist were participating in the WRC. In Colin McRae Rally 2, they will participate in the WRC. Same with Colin McRae Rally 3 and in 04 as well. However, Colin left the WRC after 2003. He made a few appearances in 2005, I think it was. And 2006 in place of Sebastian Loeb, who was injured due to a bicycle accident, cycling accident. So he took over his Citroen Zara for 2 rounds, one in Turkey and one in Greece, I want to say. I can't remember the other rally, but didn't get some good results, but he was kind of, I think at that point Colin was kind of past the rallying at that point. But in around the time this came out, so late 2004, he was out of rallying and stuff like that, and he tried his hands at the Le Mans 24 Hours, with which I think he claimed, I don't know if it was a class win or not, I can't remember, but he was driving a Ferrari at the time, and yeah, so he participated in the Le Mans. He tried his hand at that. He also tried his hand at Dakar with a Nissan pickup truck, which is what's featured in this game. But yeah, there's quite a few different motorsports that he tried whilst he was not in the WRC. He did make a comeback to Skoda in, I think it was 2005 at some point, for Rally Australia, and put in a really good performance. Unfortunately, it all went wrong though, because there was supposed to be a clutch change or something. They had to change a gearbox, and it went horribly wrong. And at that point, they were actually third in the rally, so they're on for like scoring a podium for the Skoda team, who hadn't got any podium until I think it was around, when was it? 2002 was when they got theirs, so it was only a couple of years prior, but they were like, oh my god, we're on for a podium, and then they changed the gearbox or something like that, and it went horribly wrong, and they got disqualified from the event because he took too long in time control, so which was a shame, but there you go. Also, remember that stage I mentioned, the one that was in France and now has been rehashed and it's in Spain? Yep, this is the stage. I've just remembered it as we've come on to it. Now, it should be noted that this stage doesn't exactly start where it does on Colin McRae Rally 2. However, because of its shortened length at the start, it means that it has a longer length at the end. Now, I presume that if this length was the same, the stage length of this was the same as the one in Colin McRae Rally 2, then what would happen is you'd actually have a different stage altogether. Like, you'd have, I don't know, I think the stage length would probably be about the same. But I think what they've done is, because they shortened, like I said, they shortened the start up where the stage starts, but they made it longer at the end to make up for that, I think. I think that's what they did, I'm not sure.
Into long 4 left, tightens to 3, into 3
Just need to be a bit careful there. Car's getting damaged, so I just need to be careful.
4 left, tightens to 2.
Normally I'm never that careful, I'm kind of like max attack, but in this game, unlike Colin McRae Rally 2, I cannot afford to take every corner flat out. There's not as, I will just say for the heads up that there isn't actually as many shortcuts and stuff like that in this game as there are in other Colin McRae Rally games, but that doesn't mean it can't be run by anybody. I still think that as a whole, this game's not too bad to run, and it's quite easy to get hold of as well, I believe, for the PC. So, if indeed anyone's thinking about running a Colin McRae Rally game, I definitely recommend the original 2 games. But if you wanted one that was a bit later in the Colin McRae Rally franchise, so anything from 3, 04, and 2005, this would definitely be a good suggestion. Also, this is at this point now is where the front stage will actually end. So, because the front stage has already ended by now, it means that we've actually got a bit longer. So this is, like I said, this is where they decided, you know what, we're going to add a bit more onto it. Stage times are a bit different, and it seems like going around corners and things like that, the tarmac doesn't hold the same properties as it did on Colin McRae Rally 2. There we go. So we just got one more stage to go, and then that will be Spain done and dusted. Now all we've got to do is just do Sweden. And then that will be it. So like I said, we've only got about another 6 stages to do, with the super special stage coming after that. But the super special stage is going to be a case of we just got to sit and wait for the AI. So for like the last minute and a bit of the run, you actually have some downtime, which is quite good. So yeah, if we got any donations, then I'm sure I'll go right ahead.
Currently no donations, but I can tell people about an incentive that is still open to put your donations towards. You see, the final run of the marathon has a character name that you could be putting your money towards, and it is still completely open. So if anybody has any good name for the character of the Demon Souls run, do put your donations towards that. It's up for grabs.
Into 4 right over crest, don't cut. Into very long 6 left, tightens. And 6 right, and long 5 left.
Say the sun glare, blimey. Forget how much the sun glares on this. So believe it or not, this game was actually shown. This was actually one of the first, one of the first 2 runs I did for UKSG. So this game hasn't actually been run at a marathon for quite a few years now, which has been quite nice. But yeah, so the original, I think when I did the original UKSG event a good few years back, which is quite anonymous with, say quite anonymous, quite famous with a lot of people's minds, for those that were around for the original UKSG event. But yeah, this was run around, I think about 4 years ago. When was the first one? 3.5 years ago? Something like that. 3.5, 4 years ago. But yeah, there you go, one of my first, it was actually like one of my first ever marathon runs I ever did. Because I had, the same day I had Colin McRae Rally 2, which was something. So that is Spain done and dusted. You know what that means, on to Sweden we go. Now luckily all I have to do is I just have to drive. Flat out, easy.
3, 2, 1, go. 50, long 5 right. Into 6 left, 34 right. Into long 3 left, tightens.
Now it should be worth noting that the tyres that the game puts on for you by default aren't always the best set of tyres. However, we can obviously change that as we go.
Into long 3 left, tightens. Into long 6 right.
So Sweden's full of like bumps and things like that, but there's plenty of snowbanks, and there's also a few bits of wildlife that you might see knocking about at times. But I do like the atmosphere as well. I always think the Swedish Rally, I'll be honest, the Swedish Rally to me, now, I would personally love to go and watch myself. Even if it is standing around in the snow, I'd love to just go and hang out with other rally fans and stuff like that. I think it'd be a pretty cool event. But years ago, I remember, well, when I was as a kid,
3 left.
when I've played the Colin McRae Rally franchise and
5 right,
when I've done
50.
runs of these games, I've always thought that Sweden was the worst, but
50.
Sweden's actually a fast
Right
rally.
over jump, 70.
I didn't
3
think,
left.
I never used to think it was a fast rally, but apparently it is.
Into long 5 left.
So
tightens,
there's
and
something,
3 right.
you know, there's something I never knew, and so I was like, yeah, you know what, I have to give Sweden another try. I mean, I've been to Sweden because ESA's there.
Into 6 left.
course.
Into care left over crest. Into long 2
But
right.
yeah, one day I'd actually like to just go and watch this rally. I think it'd be pretty interesting, pretty cool. Stand and watch the cars go past, and I know for a fact that
6 right over crest.
like
Keep in.
I've
Into
seen
long 5
videos
right
of
over.
cars smashing into snowbanks and stuff like that, and all you hear from the fans is "way" and stuff like that, and they always go and help them out. And I just think, I mean, it's very dangerous. Rallying's a dangerous sport, by the way. For those that don't know, but it's like most kinds of motorsport. Rallying is very, very dangerous.
And long 5 right tightens to 3. Split.
But yeah, it was one of them things, you
And long
know.
2 left.
It's just one of them. It's on my to-do list. I'm sure one day I'll get around to doing it. I hope. Just to experience it, even if it's just the once. I'd just like to experience it. Obviously, the pandemic won't let it happen, but I'm sure at some point in the future, at some point, I'll be able to have a watch of it and stuff like that.
76 left. 150. 5 left. 50. Crest 36 left over crest. 50.
Actually quite
Long
good.
5 right over finish. 50 to stop.
Nice. So you can actually use the snowbanks to slow down drastically. Like, no, not kidding, just
5,
proper slows
4,
things down.
3, 2, 1.
Also, for those worried, no,
right,
don't worry.
into left,
Your
and 4
computer
right.
screen's not gone a funny shade of orange or anything
4
like
left,
that. This
and
is just
6
how
right
the
into
sun
6
is
left,
on
tightens to 3.
the sky is,
Straight
sorry, on
170.
this particular stage.
K 3 right at single tree.
I'm just kind of
Into
wondering
6
now. I'm
left,
like,
tightens to 5 and 3 right. Into 3 left.
should be alright.
And 5 right over.
Yeah, Sweden's actually a
Along
lot
6
faster than I
right,
originally
along
thought.
6
So like I
left,
said, when
the
I
bridge.
was going through all of the different rallies, I was like, which
30
rallies are
long,
actually
4 left,
quickest?
split.
Greece was actually the worst one, and I the whole time we
Long
was
6
doing
right
Greece, and I
tightens.
was like, damn, that's a lot of time lost by just doing
Into long
Greece.
6 left opens over crest.
So I ended up
70.
doing Sweden instead of Greece, and I was like, right, okay, maybe things could be quicker still.
6
And I was
left
like,
over crest.
why don't we replace
50.
Germany with the UK?
Long
Because
5
it's
left
quicker
over
if you
crest
just
into
do
6
the
right, 50.
super special stage
4
skip
left.
thing. Turns out I was also right on that
6
one as
right.
well, so
Into long 6 left. Into K right and 3 left. Into
But
6
yeah.
left 70. K long
Works
6
out
right
quite
tightens to 2. Split. 50. Long 6 left. Into 6 right over crest.
it's actually
50.
quite tricky to win Sweden at
5
times.
right and 6 left.
Although
Into K
when you've been
5
playing
left.
the game
and
for a
4
while,
right.
it tends to be quite easy. The cars do
Into
roll,
long 5
obviously you
left,
do have to be
tightens
careful.
4. Into long 6 right 70. Long crest 50. K 5
Just
right.
need to be careful with getting my car stuck
And 6 left 30.
in the snowbanks, hopefully it doesn't.
Long 6 right tightens to 5. Split time. Into 5 left 70. Long 6 left tightens 30. 6 right.
Try and get all the way
very
to
long
the end.
6 left gravel.
Picking up, oh
Into
god, we're
long
picking up
6
speed
right,
now.
tightens to 5.
Or not. Phew.
And 6
So yeah,
left.
picking up some serious speed
70.
then.
6 right into 5 left narrows. Straight 30 K 6 right narrows and left. And 5 right and left. And 4 right.
So you do have to keep
Into
correcting
6
the
left
car, because
and
every
5
time
right
it
over
catches
finish.
off
50 to
off
stop.
guard, every time it catches itself off guard, you need to be careful. Let's see, what have we got? Compact snow. Okay, so I need snow tires. There we go. I actually had gravel tires on. That's a bad choice.
5, 4,
Should have changed the
3,
snow tires. Never mind.
2, 1, go. Into 6
So
left,
stage
30,
3.
into 6
Actually, I want to
right,
see.
50.
Have we not got any snow yet? We
6
might get
right,
some snow. I
100.
think the last 2 stages might be snow
Long 6
ones.
left, tightens to 4.
If it is, then you can see what the power of a snowstorm can do.
Long 6 right, straight 100. 6 right, 70. Long 6 left, 100.
This stage seems to be pretty quick.
5 left over crest, 70. Long 5 right, split. Into
This
6
is pretty
right,
quick,
and
blimey.
5 left opens.
I
And
forgot how
6
quick
left.
this stage was.
Into right and 5 left, 70. Long 5 right, 50. Long 6
So
right,
this
into
was,
long 5
I
left,
think
opens.
I've mentioned this before, but yeah, this was the last Colin McRae rally game out of the original lot. It then got turned into the Dirt series, which we all know today,
6 left,
and
split.
it's still going, with the latest release being Dirt 5 and Dirt Rally 2.0,
Straight 70.
or the last two I think it were.
Right over crest and 6 left and long 5 right opens.
But believe it or not, this was, I think, the last one where
Into 6 right
after
through
this it
village,
was like, yeah, we
50.
need to
Very long
rethink things,
6
because
left.
obviously then the Dirt franchise came next, and
Into 6 right and
unfortunately
6 left,
it kind
straight
of
50.
coincided a bit,
6 right, 70.
not in a good way,
long 6
because
left,
unfortunately
split.
after
And
this
6
game
right and
released,
left
there
into
was
5
obviously
left.
Colin McRae Dirt, which released in
Straight
2007, and Colin's untimely
5
death
right,
about
straight
2 weeks
50.
after, or a few weeks after, which was a real shame. So
5 left into long 6 left.
yeah, big shame really.
Into 5 right and 6 left, 30.
Also, it seems like
5
these
right and
snowbanks
4
are
left and
rock
5
solid.
right. Into 6 left and 4 right, straight 30.
Car seems to be handling
5
well, which
left
is a good
opens
sign.
long and 4 left over finish, 30 to stop.
There we go. Yep,
5,
full stage,
4,
okay.
3, 2, 1.
Just looking at my timer currently on
70
screen.
long crest and long 6 left. And 6 right and 5 left narrow and 4 right. Into long 5 left tightens over crest and 4 right and 6 left into turn 5 right. 33 left. And long 4 left opens over bumps, 70.
So we've actually, like, so after this stage we've got another 2 stages, and then we get to sit around for about a minute or so waiting for the AI.
30k long 5 right over crest and split.
So like I said, this run is more or less about the driving compared to others. There's not really too many, there's no out of bounds or anything like that like there is in Colin McRae Rally 2.
And 6 left into 6 left over crest, straight 70.
But
3 left opens, gravel. 100.
yeah, it's not too bad.
Turn 2 left after blue sign.
So that'll be about now.
50 crest, keep right into turn 3 left.
So now what I've
50
got to
split,
do,
and 4 right opens to long
so
5.
looking at my timer, this is going to be pretty close to estimate, so it
50.
really is a race against the clock.
6 left tightens to 5, 70. 6 crest, 70.
I'm literally racing against the
8
estimate
crest
now.
into 4 right opens over crest.
I said it as 110, I think it is.
Into K3
Yeah.
left. And 5
Hopefully I
right,
can get on
50.
that. At the moment it seems like I'm on
4
course
right,
for
and
about
3
a
left into 6
108.
crest.
I think something along those
100
lines.
split, caution, long 3 left, bad camber.
But the actual record for championship, like I said, it's a 104.51, and it's actually by myself. But that was pretty much a flat out run as fast as I could get it at the time. I even said though after I'd done that run, I was like, this run could be faster. So there's a bit more time save as well.
Into long 6 right onto bridge and long 4 left.
Oh dear,
tight.
that's not... Okay, that's fine. That's an
30
interesting
long, 4
respawn.
left over
I
finish,
was going to say, I don't think
50
this is going
to
to
stop.
work, but no, that worked fine. Actually worked in my favour. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so last 2 stages, here we go.
4,
This is what I meant when I said it feels a bit more realistic with the snow.
70 turn 2 right.
So you have the constant sound of the wind. Oh, there's no. I wish I'd repaired my car now. So what happens normally on this one is when you have a repaired windscreen, or when you have a car that's not smashed to bits, you can actually see like the little snow droplets landing on the windscreen, slowly melting. It's really cool. I mean, for a game that came out in 2004, I don't know if there was many games that had the same sort of effects. I mean, I know that we had obviously like Need for Speed Most Wanted and stuff like that, and that had rain effects, and same with I think Underground 2 maybe, but I don't know about snow melting particles. Maybe in action games, but not really in racing games, as far as I remember. I think the only game that kind of came close to it at this point was Richard Burns Rally, I think. Which is also available on PC. I've actually been told to try and run that myself, but I've never really gotten into the game per se, so I think that's the game a lot of people remember from like the mid-2000s was Richard Burns Rally. Mainly for its amount of detail and the handling model. A lot of people still swear by it now that the handling model for that game is that good even now. It is absolutely amazing.
And 5 right and very long 6 right opens. 70k long left tightens to 4 over crest and 5 right.
This stage actually gone pretty quick. I'm surprised.
6 left 50.
Didn't think this stage went by that fast. Well, I guess I was wrong.
K6 right into 4 left narrows.
Like I said, luckily the last minute or so of this run will be a lot easier. Very easy actually, because I can just kind of sit and chill out for a minute or so.
And 6 left over finish, 50 to stop.
That was very well timed with slowing that down. That's good. Nice.
5, 4.
Unfortunately, that's the only time we're actually going to see the only time we're actually going to see the snow effect, which is a shame. I thought it might be longer than that, but I guess not.
100. Long 6 right, 70. 6 right. 30.
So we've got quite a big gap,
left,
and it looks like I think we're going to win this. It's going to be close.
Long 6 right, straight 100.
I'm going to need to kind of hope that I can stretch the advantage I've got out now.
30 onto ice, split time, straight 300.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to the end. Should be able to.
K, keep left and narrow, into 6 left, straight 100. K left and turn 2 right onto narrow bridge, and 2 left opens. And 6 right, into 6 left over crest, 50.
So there's actually a bit that involves ice in a second,
70,
I think.
Open hairpin right.
There we go.
30, open hairpin left.
I say onto ice, it's not ice, it's
50,
well, it is, it's an icy car park. I always thought that bit was quite unique to that stage. It's like, I mean, they've had F1 races in hotel car parks before, like they did in Las Vegas in the 1980s, I think it was. So, rallying using car parks, yeah, it's all in a day's work, especially for motorsport.
Tightens over crest and 4 right. Into 6 left. And crest 30, 4 left. 36 right and jump and split 100. 5 right, 50 crest
Nice.
and 5 right tightens to 4. 50k 6 right and long left tightens to 4. Into 3 right opens
Nearly
and
there.
6 left 30, 6 right and left. Into 6
So believe it or
right,
not, time's
and
actually
K
not going to be
right
when I
left
cross the
jump,
line,
keep
but
in.
it's going to be when I
4
get
right
disqualified
over crest, and turn
from
3 right,
the
and long 3
next
left over
race, and then
finish,
that's
50
kind of
to
it really, there's not a lot to it. So, go into the super special stage,
5, 4,
and now what we got to do is
3,
wait.
2, 1, go.
Literally, this is, how's that for a dramatic ending? There's not a lot to it. There we go. And now we wait. So whilst I'm waiting, I might as well just say and get me ending over and done with, because it makes it a bit easier. We have got about half a minute to spare. But yeah, that's Colin McRae Rally 2005. That's the championship mode. Like I said, it's a fairly straightforward run. There's not a lot to it. There is a few corner cuts here and there that you might need to learn if you want to have a crack at this yourself. But the main thing is just learning how to do the do all the corner cut stuff. And time is coming up in 3, 2, 1, now. Just to prove it that we won. 10 points for us, 40 points, and we're the winner. There you go. We won the championship, nice and easy. And yeah, like I said, that's Colin McRae Rally 2005. That run could have been a lot faster, but regardless to that, I just want to quickly say thanks to BSG for having me once again. It's been great fun you having me. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of BSG Online 4, and I'll hopefully see you guys very, very soon once again with another racing game. So I'll pass it back over to them.
Alright, cool. Thanks for doing that run. Everybody, next up we're gonna have Dead Cells being run by EVN. So enjoy that run. And that's it for my hosting shift as well. So everybody enjoy the rest of the event.